Welcome and welcome back. I'm B. Today we're diving into some horror for the ghoulish soul. I've got 10 movies to talk about, ranging from the creepy to the downright disturbing. Perfect for those of us who want a little more darkness during the holidays. Let's get into it. Black Christmas 1974 is the ultimate Christmas horror classic. It's creepy, clever, and has a mix of everything I love in completely unhinged, killer, feminist themes that still hold up and a Christmas backdrop that makes the whole thing feel even more sinister. The story follows a sorority house being terrorized by someone making these disturbing, obscene phone calls. It starts out unsettling and quickly escalates into something much darker. What makes this movie stand out is how grounded it really feels. The characters are smart, relatable, and have real depth, which was rare for that time for slashers. And let's talk about the atmosphere. There's something about Christmas lights and holiday carols that make the horror hit even harder. It's like the movie lulls you into a false sense of safety before ripping the rug right from underneath you. If you haven't seen Black Christmas, you're missing out on a true holiday horror staple. For me, it's not Christmas without it. Just maybe watch it after the kids go to bed. Next up is P2, a decent little Christmas horror flick. It's not going to win any awards, but if you're in the mood for something simple and suspenseful, this one delivers. The plot is pretty straightforward. It's Christmas Eve, and a woman gets trapped in her office building's parking garage by this super creepy incel-esque security guard. And what follows is a tense game of cat and mouse with just enough gore to keep things interesting. What P2 does really well is the setting. The parking garage feels so claustrophobic, it's like you're stuck there with her. You can feel the tension, even if the story itself isn't groundbreaking. It's more about the atmosphere and the suspense than anything else. If you're looking for a low effort, entertaining horror movie with some holiday vibes, P2 is a solid pick. It's not a must watch, but it's definitely a fun way to kill 98 minutes. Just maybe think twice before parking in a garage alone after dark. Next on the list is Silent Night 2021. Fair warning, this one is bleak. If you are already feeling down, this probably isn't the movie for you, but if you're in the mood for something dark and heavy, it is worth a watch. The movie follows a group of friends and family gathering for Christmas dinner at a cozy country home. Everything seems festive and polite with plenty of witty British humor to go around, but beneath the holiday cheer is a grim truth. An environmental catastrophe is unfolding, and this Christmas will be their last. Things start off light, but as the reality of their situation sets in, the movie grows darker and more unsettling. I have to mention Art, who is one of the kids. He is not playing around. His intensity amplifies the bleakness, making those heavy moments hit even harder. Silent Night is not for everyone. If you're looking for a dark, thought provoking holiday movie, this will definitely leave an impression. But if you want something fun or festive, you might want to give this one a pass. It's a mix of dark humor, existential dread, and an emotional gut punch, and stays with you long enough after the credits roll. Let's talk about Red Snow. This one is kind of corny, but honestly, it's so much fun. It's one of these movies that knows exactly what it is and just runs with it, which makes it super entertaining. The story follows Olivia Romo, a struggling romance novelist spending Christmas alone at her cabin in Lake Tahoe. Her quiet retreat takes a bizarre turn when a wounded bat crashes into her window. Olivia decides to help it only to discover the bat is actually Luke, an injured vampire. What follows is a quirky mix of horror, humor, and holiday chaos as Olivia gets caught up in Luke's world. What I really enjoyed about this movie is how it embraces its campy charm. The dynamic between Olivia and Luke keeps things engaging, and the plot has a few fun twists that makes it stand out. If you're in the mood for something light, ridiculous, and unexpectedly delightful, Red Snow is a great choice. It's a fun break from the more intense Christmas horror films and perfect for when you want something a little different. Next up is Anna and the Apocalypse. This movie is such an interesting blend of genres. It's a Christmas zombie musical with comedy, horror, and a surprising amount of heart. The story takes place in a small town gearing up for the holidays, but things go sideways when a zombie apocalypse breaks out. Anna and her friends have to sing, fight, and dance their way through the chaos to survive. Along the way, there are some surprisingly heartfelt and sad moments that really caught me off guard. I'll admit the tone shift between the lighthearted comedy horror and the more emotional scenes threw me a bit at first, but it wasn't a deal breaker. It actually gives the movie more depth than you might expect. And even though it's a musical, the songs never feel over the top or overwhelming. They fit right into the story without being too much. Overall, Anna and the Apocalypse is a cute, fun movie that's perfect if you want something different for your holiday horror lineup. It's got zombies, catchy songs, and just enough emotional weight to keep you invested. Now let's talk about Dead End. This one is kind of weird. It's got a subtle Christmas vibe since it's set on Christmas Eve, but don't expect much holiday cheer here. The movie follows a family on a road trip to grandma's house when the dad decides to take a shortcut because that always ends up well. Things quickly spiral into a nightmare as they encounter strange and creepy happenings on a deserted road. Lynn Shay, our Scream Queen, is in this one and she's great as always. That said, the movie has its quirks, like the obnoxious, corny brother who was honestly just irritating, but hey, it's an early 2000s movie, so that kind of over the top sibling drama feels par for the course. Dead End starts off pretty promising, but for me, it didn't quite stick the landing. It's not a favorite, but it's worth checking out if you're in the mood for something a little odd with a hint of Christmas in the background. All right, let's dive into Jack Frost. This one definitely isn't a fan favorite, but honestly, I don't think it's as terrible as people say it is. It's a silly, campy horror movie that knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't pretend to be anything more. The movie kicks off with these great opening credits where a guy is telling a little girl this wildly inappropriate story about Jack Frost, a serial killer. It's so over the top, but it had me hooked right away. So, the premise: a freak accident causes the killer's soul to merge with snow, turning him into a murderous snowman. Yep, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. Now, I was enjoying the movie until it hit that weird grape scene. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. It was bizarre and just so unnecessary. But if that kind of thing isn't your vibe, I'd say fast forward through it. Overall, Jack Frost is pure, silly nonsense, but if you don't take it too seriously, it can actually be pretty fun. It's perfect for when you just want something to laugh at. That's absurd. Of course, I had to include Gremlins. It's an absolute classic. While it's not scary at all, it's such a great movie that perfectly mixes horror and comedy. Set during Christmas, the movie gives you that cozy holiday vibe while introducing us to Gizmo, the cutest little mogwai you'll ever see. Things take a chaotic turn when the gremlins start causing trouble, and their antics are just so much fun to watch. And let's not forget the mom. She did what needed to be done in a particular scene with the gremlins. And also the father. He is an inventor and he is not that very good at it, but I love that as a family, they support each other and they stick together. Gremlins is a charming, entertaining, and just an all around great movie. If you're looking for a lighthearted holiday horror with a lot of personality, this is one to watch. And seriously, who doesn't love Gizmo? Next up is Krampus, starring another Scream Queen, Toni Collette. At the heart of the story is Max, a boy tired of dealing with his dysfunctional family. He loses his Christmas spirit and, as a result, accidentally summons Krampus, an ancient demon with a crew of evil helpers who punish those lacking holiday cheer. This movie has everything you'd expect from a dysfunctional family holiday: obnoxious relatives, plenty of offensive comments, and enough tension to make anyone lose their festive spirit. Max even delivers the line, "Why do we have to put up with their crap just because they share DNA?" Honestly, that's the million dollar question. One of my favorite parts was the evil demonic helpers. They were creepy and so much fun to watch, and the practical effects were amazing. I've always been a fan of practical effects in horror movies, and this movie delivers on that front. That said, I do wish we'd gotten just a little bit more of Krampus himself, not too much, but just enough to help with the tension. The underlying message I notice is about family, as dysfunctional as they are. The story reminds us that family is worth fighting for, even if they're driving you up the wall. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that message, but sure. If you're into holiday horror with a darkly comedic edge and some solid creature effects, Krampus is definitely worth checking out. All right, we've made it to the final movie on the list, and that is Better Watch Out. This starts off with a Home Alone esque vibe, but quickly takes a dark turn. It follows Ashley, a babysitter, watching over 12-year-old Luke during the holidays. What starts off as a seemingly normal night soon spirals into something much more sinister. Now, I'm going to be honest, this isn't a movie I personally enjoyed, but I included it because it has a lot of good reviews. This is a disturbing and creepy movie, so if that's your thing, you might want to check it out. I will say the twist caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it, and it's definitely horrifying at least to me. The whole movie felt uncomfortable, twisted, and downright unsettling. If you're in the mood for something dark and creepy this holiday season, give Better Watch Out a try. You might find it more enjoyable than I did. All right, folks, so those are 10 Christmas horror movies for the Ghoulish Soul. Of course, there's so much more out there. I've put together a list on Letterboxd with even more holiday horror films that will be ongoing. I will continue to add to it. So just be sure to check that out. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite Christmas horror movies and have you seen any from this list? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror content.